Welcome to another edition of Flea Market Fantasy, the world's second greatest Bronze Age era comic book podcast. Joining me as always is new Mike L, Kevin Jank.
I'm here, Mike Dell, and last week we were at a real crossroads of which book to pick this week, and I think you made the right choice.
Oh, you do? All right.
Yeah.
All right, today we are going to be reading Champions issue 6 from 1986, and this is Eclipse Comics Champions, not
Yeah.
Marvel Comics, the Champions. There was a trademark dispute between the
Yep,
companies.
I was going to say that's got to be coming because, yeah, they're not even trying.
But I
They
guess
didn't even spell it different or anything.
I guess the courts ruled that Marvel had abandoned the copyright to the Champions. So these champions did not get in trouble. And then later Marvel reacquired the copyright from them, I guess. So then Marvel released another Champions series in around 2016 or something, maybe, I think.
Yeah, that was a very different team. It was just based on all the young heroes at the time. So mostly pretty terrible, from what I recall.
Mike L and I did a Champions issue for Marvel earlier on in the show, and that was like Black Widow, Hercules, Ghost Rider, Iceman, and Angel.
Yeah, that's right. The
That's
classic
quite
champions.
the team.
That's real, just a who's who of like who's not in a book right
Yes,
now. Let's just mix them together.
Just throw them all in a team together. So this champion's completely different, and we'll get into some of the backstory because I don't even understand most
Yeah.
of it.
Oh boy. Yeah, this book was not written with the Stan Lee motto of every comic is someone's first comic. They expected you to know everything about the champions.
Yes. Yeah, we're jumping in issue 6 of a 6-issue limited series, so yeah, we got in at the tail end there. But before we get into all that, let's remind everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I checked today, Jank, we were up to 379 subscribers. So I think that's at least 3 or 4 more, right? We jumped up.
Yeah, I think so. If my math is correct.
Yeah, I can't remember what
Which
we
is
were
mostly
last.
remembering. Yeah.
Yes.
Math is good, but the memory part, not so much.
We jumped up there, and again, the goal is 500, and then Jank is going to make me read The Dark Knight Returns. And
Yeah.
I really don't want to do that, so
So subscribe so that we can make Mike Dell suffer. Isn't that what you want?
that's what it seems all life is about, is making me suffer. And Firestar's doing pretty well for us. She's doing okay. But you know who wasn't doing
butter rum.
Yeah,
Except
big butter rum
Emma
fans
Frost.
out there. But no one watched the Eternals. So your anti-Eternals propaganda has hit. And it's
That's
really
right.
affecting.
I'm the voice of the people. By the way, I did try to watch the Eternals this week.
Oh, well, we're burying the lead. Now, again, you got to get through that first hour. So did you do that?
I got to about the hour and 10-minute mark.
All right. Still nothing?
No, I still didn't give a single crap about any of those characters. I was like, there's no way this is ever going to be good. It's not possible.
You tried. You gave it a go. But did you see her with blonde hair? Angelina Jolie.
I did. Yeah, that's something. That's not enough to change, it did not change my mind at all.
All right. Well,
you're an easy critic.
You gave it a good, honest effort. So, all right. Also, I have a book out there called Monkey Flip about a chimp detective. And it received another big 5-star review this week from our website. So, yeah, get on the monkey train. Monkey Flip train, whatever.
Yeah. Get on it before the second book comes out, because if you like this show, you're going to love the second book.
Yes, the second one.
We're finished.
Hopefully, I'll start writing it this week. I said that before, but maybe this week. All right. So anyway, Champions issue 6. This Champions team first appeared in the 1981 role-playing game Champions by Hero Games. Okay, now this is confusing because it was a pen and paper role-playing game in 1981. So I guess it's like Dungeons and Dragons, but for superheroes, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I know Marvel did do some of their own at some point. I remember seeing an X-Men one at the comic book store that was like really old.
Yeah, I had those when I was a kid. I didn't have any friends to play them with, but I bought the games anyway because they were cool. Because they would always have
art
books.
Look cool, yeah.
Yeah, they would always have books with like bios for characters and like strengths and weaknesses and stuff. So that was just fun to read. I enjoyed doing that. But but this role-playing game here, I don't know, I don't understand all this, but apparently you could create your own heroes and then you like told other people about them or something. I don't know. So like these characters in this book were created by fans and people who played that game.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes. So like
That's
yeah, like there was a whole community and there was like dozens and if not hundreds of heroes and villains created and they selected for this comic book series came out in 1986 and like they were just at a convention and someone asked, "Hey, are you ever going to do a comic book based on these games?" And the fella stood up, the writer of this here book, Dennis Maloney, I think is his name. Yeah, he stood up and said, "Yeah, I'll write a comic book about it. You want?" And so they picked six characters that were created by fans or players of the game, and
wow.
those people kept the rights to those characters. So that's pretty cool.
Been on a gravy train, I'm sure. This thing
Yeah.
lasted a whole 6 issues.
And I guess he wanted I think he wanted a character called Gargoyle that was a fan creation, but that guy said he had other plans. He wanted to do something else with that character. So, but he let them mention the character in the comic book. And then Maloney came up with his own character, Dr. Arcane, I think is the one he came up with.
Yeah, we saw a
And
little bit of him in this issue, I guess.
yeah, and his granddaughter
Yep.
becomes Lady Arcane. He's basically like a cross between Charles Xavier and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, basically.
He's
That's
wheelchair
my
bound,
impression.
but he's a mystic fella. All right, so
I'm guessing I don't think the wheel yeah, I think the wheelchair part is just because he got his soul sucked out by that lady or something. Was he still in the wheelchair at the end of the issue?
uh, well, I just saw pictures of him earlier, and like he was in a wheelchair, so I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll
I
be
gotta wonder
honest.
what that person who created that character was like. I'm gonna make this more interesting. Give my character a wheelchair.
Yeah, just like the Charles Xavier. And
Yeah.
who's the guy from Doom Patrol? He was also in a wheelchair, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That the X-Men
Can't,
clearly ripped off.
yeah, can't remember his name either. Then in this series ran in 1986, but from Eclipse Comics, and I believe Eclipse was our buddy Mark Evanier of Gru fame, and he was the writer on Gru. I think he was the guy behind Eclipse Comics, if memory serves.
Sounds about
And
right.
and then the next year, that Dennis Maloney, he started his own Heroic Publishing, and so that everything went over to there. And because I guess like the first couple issues at Eclipse did well, and then the others didn't sell so well. So Maloney started his own thing. And over there, it was an ongoing series in 1987, and it was called the League of Champions. And that's kind of what they're known as these days, the League of Champions. Maybe that gets around the old trademark issue as well.
That's a
So,
way to do it, yes.
yeah.
Instead of just being the champions when there is something else already called that. Just change it up a little bit.
But the
Rip off
original
the Justice League as well by putting the league thing in there.
the original Champions members were a fellow named Giant, who's in this book.
Yeah. A version of him is at least. I guess not
Yeah.
the original one.
And he may not last long either.
No.
And
Shortest reign as a superhero ever.
then we have a lady named Flare. Oh, I guess we should say Giant. His gimmick is he's got some enchanted harness that he wears. He had a hernia, so they gave him but apparently it's like a imbued with the powers of Zeus or something, or a fraction of Zeus. I don't know. But
That was Zeus's girdle that he's wearing.
yes, but it can make him grow very large.
Yeah, he's basically giant man. I mean, it's in the name, giant. They just left out the man,
And I
but he
guess
is a
that
man.
harness can heal injuries and stuff to an extent.
Oh,
But yes,
yeah. I guess he tested the limits too many
yes,
times.
didn't work out in this one. He went the way of
Push it
butter
to
rum,
the
sadly.
limit.
Uh,
Yeah.
so,
By the way, I've started keeping a list for the in memoriam section of the next
oh,
quesadillas
all right. Yes, we really
of all
should
the
have
people
this.
we've lost this year.
Oh, sadly, speaking of which, we lost Jim Shooter this week. Did you see that?
Great. I did see that just today.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Wow. Yeah,
I'm a
that's
big Jim Shooter guy. I like Jim Shooter a lot. I met him when I was a kid, and he
hmm
signed one of my drawings and said nice work and everything. I'm a big fan of Jim Shooter. And yeah, so that's sad.
Yeah, I
Godspeed,
mean,
Jim
at least he
Shooter.
had a nice long life. That's good.
Yeah, well, let's hope. All right, so then we have a lady named Flair, not Charlotte
Yeah.
Flair. This
No.
is just Flare. And
Hopefully,
apparently,
Scarlet Flair doesn't have this kind of relationship with her brother.
yes, it was a very disturbing relationship with her brother. She was one of four children who were apparently experimented on by Nazis in South America. After the Nazis escaped Germany after World War II, they went to South America and they performed genetic modifications on her and her brothers. And she had two brothers and a sister, I think. And so she has like light manipulation powers and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if it's also heat or it's just light. I don't know.
Like, I guess if the light gets intense enough, it gets hot,
Yeah.
apparently. So
Yeah.
it's one of them deals. But then we have Icestar, who's basically Iceman. Just
Yep.
he never frosts over though. He's always like a looking like a human, not like an ice cube. But
Yeah, it's less cool to be honest.
yes, it's way less cool. But he even zips
Just
around on
looks
little
like a
ice
normal guy.
slides and everything, like Iceman does. And I guess
Yeah,
his
they're
thing,
very creative here.
I guess his thing is he's kind of like a ladies' man. He's
Yeah, he's got t-shirts that have his name on it and everything that he gives to the ladies.
then we have a lady named Rose who I guess she's like a mystic, like a magician, sorceress lady, right?
Hmm. Seems unnecessary when you've got Dr. Arcane and Lady Arcane on your team. You need another
Well, they
magician.
didn't have Lady Arcane until this issue.
Oh, but you had Dr. Arcane, right?
Yeah, but I think he may have been like a retired guy, kind of.
Oh,
So Rose, because it seems like Rose does some sort of a spell that takes this magic out of him. We'll get into it.
yeah.
But we do get a little bit of a caged heat situation here
Yeah, that's
at
true.
the
Oh
beginning of
boy.
this.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess there's different ways to interpret that, but boy,
Oh yeah, there's a very sad. Yes,
yeah.
I was thinking of the good. Yeah, all right, we'll get into it. Yeah, there's definitely a sad aspect of the cage heat that is in here. This is a very twisted comic, which
It
is pretty
really
cool.
was. Eclipse was a wild comic, apparently.
I guess they didn't have to adhere to the comics code, apparently.
I wonder if those people who created these characters, like at home, were like, I can't wait to see my character in a book. Oh
Oh,
God, no.
she was. Oh, this is horrible. So yeah. All right, then we have Superion, which I don't know who that was. Did you
Is he
recognize?
the guy on the cover who's like running with a gun in the stupidest way I've ever
No, I
seen?
think that guy is Huntsman.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Uh,
Huntsman is like a just expert with weapons, and they had to change his name apparently because when the book went from Eclipse to Heroic Publishing, they had to change some names, so he became Marksman, I believe,
oh.
or maybe he was Marksman and became Huntsman. I don't know, but it's one of the two.
I just think of the Huntsman as a guy on Freakazoid who was like a Robin Hoodish character, and he talked like kind of like Clint Eastwood or Charlton Heston, and he was always like coming in to see if there was any crime to fight, and they'd always tell him nope, and he would just be like darn, darn, darn. He was like,
But what was I going to say about this and the change in the names and stuff? I had a thing and I can't remember. Oh well, I guess this Marksman he's just like that Deadshot guy we did, right?
that makes sense. Except he can't hold a gun. He thinks he's just gonna like hold it like a bow staff, and that's gonna do something.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know who Superion is. Maybe he's not featured
Maybe
in this at
he
all.
already died or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem
Yeah,
like
could
they're
be.
worried about killing people off in this book, so he could
Yeah.
already be gone.
So the evil guys in this book, there's like an evil group called Demon, all caps,
Yeah.
Demon. That's how you know they're serious. And I kind of take it like they're like Cobra and G.I. Joe, kind of. They're like an
Sounds about
whole
right.
organization. And their
Yeah.
leader is like Demon Master, I think is his name, right? Or Demon.
I could never figure it out other than Philip.
Yeah, his real name is Philip because we find out that he's actually Flair's brother, Philip.
Yeah.
And even though they're brother and sister, that does not stop Philip from wanting to get with Flair.
Oh, he wants her bad.
Yes. He
And
wants to make
apparently,
sweet
yeah,
love with his sister.
he apparently already has. I look back
Oh,
at a little
it's
bit.
been really? It
Yeah.
has?
Yeah, apparently he's kind of like a purple man type situation where he's got like mind control
Oh,
powers and
no.
yeah.
What is going on in Champions?
This book got dark.
Wow. All right. And then there are a couple other villains. There's a villain named Foxbat, and it
Oh.
almost seems like he's part of the good guys here, but he was just fighting against the demon, but he's also a bad guy.
Yeah, I guess he's like an anti-hero. He's very much a Wolverine ripoff, it appears to be. Like
But he's
Wolverine
kind of
combined with Batman.
he doesn't have claws or anything. He's kind of squirrely upstairs, I guess. He's kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And like his weapon is just a gun that shoots ping pong balls. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was yeah. Oh man, we got to get to that because that was ridiculous. I was like, what is happening here?
But I guess that's just kind of who he is. He's goofy like that, but I don't know. And
I mean,
also
there's goofy and then there's also impractical. Like, I feel like Uncle Bubble had
Uncle
better
Bubble.
weapons than that.
Yeah, the jokes. What was that guy's name? The trickster? Yeah,
The
Uncle
trickster,
Bubbles.
yeah.
Yeah. And then the other big villain here is a lady named Malice.
Yeah, not the
And
Malice from the X-Men.
yeah, that was a cool Malice. The Marauders, right? She was mixed in there. But this Malice, she is the spirit of one of Zeus's daughters, and I can't pronounce her name because it begins with a PH or something. I don't know. But I guess she's an evil lady as well, and so she was sentenced to. She did something. She took away the immortality of the other gods on Olympus or something. I don't know. So she was sentenced to punishment. She was buried under the sands in Egypt, but then someone discovered her in like the 1930s, and she possessed the body of a human lady, and now that lady's like immortal. And but yeah, that's who she is, I guess. I don't know.
Huh. Yeah, she did mention that she was immortal. That's why she wasn't worried that she lost her powers. Because she's like, oh, I'll get him back
Uh,
eventually when this guy dies.
yeah, because I guess the whole thing is they're fighting over some demon crown or something. And
Yeah,
like
that
Philip got
serpent
the
crown.
crown. Yeah. He got the crown in this issue, so he's all powerful and stuff. And Malice, like the her most of her powers were sucked into that crown or something. I don't know. It's all confusing. But this Malice, she's a good looking lady and she wears an outfit with only one leg. Uh, like a bare leg and a covered leg.
Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was like battle damage, like she'd been through it,
I think
or
it's
that
just stylish.
that was just the
Yeah.
style at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. It saves half the time of putting on pants. So all right, the creators here, the writer is Dennis Maloney. We mentioned earlier. I think it's Malonee, and he was born in 1955. He founded Heroic Publishing. He has 5 writing credits at Marvel, and he helped design the format for the official handbook of the Marvel Universe.
Oh wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he knows his stuff apparently. To do
Because if
some
you look,
research.
I think it was probably just based on what they were doing with that role playing game. Like how you'd have a picture and then like their stats and then a bio. So
Yeah.
he probably brought the same thing over for that. And the artist is a fellow named Chris Marinian, I believe. Chris Marinian. 31 credits at DC, including 19 Wonder Woman issues. And he
Hmm.
had 41 credits at Marvel, including the first 11 issues of Nova Volume 2. So,
Oh,
something.
okay.
If you ever read the Nova reboot, he did that. And he had other credits at other companies too. He's done a bunch of stuff, but never heard of him until
Me
this.
neither. Yeah. I can kind of see why. It's not amazing art. It's
Yeah,
functional.
it's functional. Yeah, yeah. It's a good way to describe it. So, all right, I was going to ask you if you have anything else you'd like to add about the champions, but you don't know anything about them either.
Nope,
No
not a
one knows
clue.
anything about these people.
I didn't know these people existed till last week.
Yeah. So, all right, let's look at the cover, Jank. Why don't you describe it for us?
Okay, so yeah, not a striking cover, I would say. I got the little Eclipse Comics logo, I guess, in the top left corner there. It's like a crescent moon, and it's got kind of little, Captain Marvel star there, kind of coming out of it. And it says Eclipse Comics on a black border with yellow letters, and it says miniseries number 6 of 6. Although this really, I can't believe this was a planned ending because it does not seem like an ending.
Yeah, I think the original plan was to do well. I guess this Maloney fella, Evan Year and Eclipse, they were looking for another superhero team book. And Maloney's first pitch was to do one issue of like highlighting each character on the team, and then in issue 7 and 8 they come together and form the team. And they said,
Mm.
no, that's not what we want. We want a team book right out of the gate. So
Oh.
so that's what they did. But then I think Maloney had other, longer storylines ideas, and the book wasn't selling well enough. So Eclipse said, all right, we had enough at 6. Let's just end it at
Yeah,
6.
let's rebrand it as a mini series. That's what it was all along.
So I think that's how that happened. But yeah, go ahead with your cover description.
So let me get the Champions logo. It's just kind of, your basic 3D kind of block lettering, but not very cool looking at all. They put very minimal effort into that, I feel like. Then it's kind of a shot there of Giant fighting Philip, or whatever his name is, Demon Master. He's all giant. Demon Master's all giant. They're taking swings at each other. And then in the foreground, running on the grass, we got Ice Guy, Icestar, whatever his name is.
The star,
He's
yeah.
using his ice slides. And then there's Huntsman, who is carrying a gun like a club,
Yeah,
where it's not doing
he's
anyone any good.
he's got his left hand on like the butt of the rifle and his right hand on like the tip of the barrel.
It's like they're playing one potato, two potato, but it's only him, and I don't know what he expects is going to happen. Then there's, I guess that's Flare flying.
Yeah, with the blonde hair on the in the right, yeah.
She had a red costume in the book, but I don't know. She's got an
Yeah.
orange costume here. And that's Rose, I guess, there on the ground, just kind of looking shocked.
Yeah, because we never see Rose in her costume in this issue. She's just in her underpants and a t-shirt.
Does have
But
a little pink outfit though, so I'm
yeah.
assuming that's got to be
Yeah, you
her.
can see she's got the rose on her chest there, so I'm
That
guessing that's
cool.
a rose. Yeah, and the
It says,
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, then it says to death and beyond.
Oh, Death and Beyond. And
Yeah.
the Demon Master guy, he's like in a red outfit with like brownish red gloves and boots and a blue cape and a crown and a half a mask. It's a pretty cool
Yeah.
look. I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Better than just the crown.
Yeah, like a metal mask, like a golden mask, like half. And then and he's also got blue, like a blue little I don't know, what would you call that? A do-rag that he wears.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
crown rests on it. And then the giant fella,
It
he's
reminds
in
me a
like
lot of King Randor from Masters of the Universe,
I'll
except with the, which was
take your word
definitely
for
a
it.
better step in the right direction.
And the giant guy, he's in like a brown and orangish yellow outfit, almost like saber-tooth colors.
Yeah.
And he's got his harness, and he's got kind of mask that trying to think who else wears a mask like this, where their hair's out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Pile Driver from the Wrecking Crew, maybe. Did he have this kind of thing?
Sure.
Yes.
These things were all the rage in like the 90s, I would say. Although they usually didn't have the mask, they just had the head sock part covering like the ears and stuff.
So there you go. That's the cover. Now we open it up, and yeah, here's the chained heat situation. Because we
Yeah.
get the situation has changed for the champions. Demon is in control. And for our heroes, the question is not one of victory, but of survival. And we see this is a good panel. We see two they tilt on it in the coloring. But the see two armed guards opening up a prison or a jail door, and they're throwing in Rose, and she's just in a skimpy little outfit there. And
Yeah. Her clothes have been ripped up, clearly.
yeah, and they're like, "You'll wait in here with the others. Keep being nice, little girl, and maybe you'll live till tomorrow, eh?"
Oh, they're
And
Canadian.
yeah, and I guess Rose, she's now in this cell. And again, this is a nice panel too with the light of the cell door and the bars. So that is Dr. Arcane is in a wheelchair in here, and
Yep.
his granddaughter, who I don't know her name, but she becomes Lady Arcane later this issue. She's just in her underpants and a bra.
Yeah.
And then one of the guards, would you like to say what the guard says
Oh
to them?
boy. This is a part I really want to play.
Yes.
Foxbat laid a claim on you, little lady, so you've been off limits. That one had better luck. toward the end, I think she was even starting to like it.
Oh man.
Ugh,
And so Lady
demons.
Arcane, she's saying, "Oh, Rose. Oh, Donna is her name." And Rose is like, "Donna? And is it you this
Your
time?"
name is
And
Donna Hannah, which is just stupid. That's a
Donna
terrible
Hannah.
name.
Yes. That is a very terrible name. She's like, "Yes, it is. I can feel it." So yeah, she's been through some trauma here. She's been oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah. It's a what was that movie we watched on LCS?
I feel like that's every prison movie we've watched, but
Uh, what was the one where shoot, where the lady, got revenge on all the people who gang raped her?
oh, is that Naked Vengeance or something like
Naked
that?
Vengeance. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. So
I mean, maybe they were just like, torturing her, like spanking her and stuff, but I don't know.
I don't think so.
It doesn't seem like that's where they stopped.
Very,
So,
very dark. I like the coloring here on this page. A lot of greens and stuff. So that's pretty
uh,
cool.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, they're talking it over, and again, they're just in their underpants and bras and stuff. And the old man is just like comatose in a wheelchair.
yeah, because that malice like drained his soul out or whatever.
So Rose, she, tries to recover, and she says, "He said he needed you to anchor his soul. Yes, you do. You're his granddaughter, and magic runs through your veins. You simply don't know how to use your talents. You never wanted to use them. But that has to change now. Time is growing short, and you are the only one of us they don't perceive as a threat." So this Rose girl, she does some sort of spell. She says her powers are limited in wherever they're at, some dungeon or whatever. But she has enough power to transform Han Donna Hannah into Lady Arcane, and now she's got a fancy costume and a green cape and boots and gloves and everything.
Yeah.
You are the new Dr. Arcane. You will be our final hope. And now we cut over to a big giant splash page of the giant Demon Master fella. Oh, the Hellfire Crown is mine. I wonder if Sebastian Shaw and Emma Frost have any say in this.
Or who's that other guy, the human guy that we learned about
Yeah, I
last
have
week?
no
That was the White
idea. I
King.
still don't know who that guy is.
I already forgot him.
But he's giant now, and he's like, "I am invincible." And this is chapter 11, To Death and Beyond. And I like how that ice guy's just standing on a pole of ice. It's
Yeah, that's not really helping any. You're just in a precarious position for no reason.
But Foxbat is joining forces with them to fight this guy, and the Giants there, and Huntsman and Icestar. So, what happens here, Jank? Why don't you take it away?
He says, I am in, and Giant Man, or Giant just says, you are a blowhard and you're due for a fall. And he just like shoulder checks him right in the belly, knocks him into a tree.
This was my favorite part coming up there.
And so then here we got Malice. She's carrying Flare, and she like throws her into the side of a convertible, like not
Yes.
not into the convertible, like to sit in it, just into the door.
Uh, yeah, so Malice comes out of the woods, and she wears like a sparkly white costume, like I said, with only one leg covered, and but she's got like Flare on her shoulder, tied up and blindfolded. She's lugging her like a sack of potatoes. And then she just chucks her head first into the side of the car.
Yep.
And she does it to her again later, right? Like she just grabs her and throws her. Oh, that's one of my favorite things ever.
Poor Flare. She's really getting the shit end of the stick this whole issue.
She
She's
just
also,
chucks her.
and she's only partially wearing her costume because for some reason she was out of costumes and she has to wear one of Icestar's like shirts that he gives to all his groupies.
Yeah, it has like a big heart, and I think I heart Ice Star or Ice Star groupie or
Yeah.
something. I don't know. But Malice, she's there with like these demon guards, like again, like Cobra soldiers, and
Yep.
she grabs one of their guns, and she's just gonna shoot Flare. She's just gonna gun her down. And
And she's pissed because she says your brother stole my power. So I'm gonna take it out on you, basically.
and again, Flare's just in her underpants and a t-shirt as well. But yeah, so now we cut over and we see a giant and the Demon Master fellow. They're fighting. They're on a good old fight, and They're knocking down
Yeah.
trees and everything. And all right, I was also confused on this because so the people in the convertible, it's being driven by one of the demon guards, but in the back seat there's a pregnant woman and her child,
Yep.
and they are apparently the wife and child of Giant.
That's right. Yep. And
But we
apparently
also,
her father, the wife's father, was the original giant.
yes, and her husband found the harness
Yep.
and put it on, and he became the new Giant. But it also becomes revealed that Flair is in love with Giant.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, real love triangle brewing here.
what does that mean? Giant's been sleeping with Flair while his wife is pregnant and he's got a kid? That's a
I don't know.
Cyclops
I don't
kind of
know.
move,
Maybe it's
right?
yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just a one-way thing. Like she's got an unrequited crush on him or something. But
Let's hope.
yeah.
Because otherwise, this Giant's a real creep.
Otherwise, we don't have to feel bad that what happens to him here.
Yes. So they stand up in the back of the convertible and they're yelling to get his attention. They're like, over here, over here. And but when what's her face, Malice sees them fighting, knocking down trees and stuff, she's like, oh no, that means there's going to be other and she just grabs Flair.
Up from the rear, probably. And yep, there's Icestar making himself a
Yeah,
little ice wall to block their bullets.
she's like, if Giant's here, there are other. But I like how she just grabs Flair with one hand and chucks her up into the convertible as well. And so, and then Foxbat comes in with his ping pong gun, his ping pong ball gun.
So much less effective than a regular gun.
And he's like, take that, you villain. I think he might be like a little bit of a madcap to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that,
Like,
but
yeah.
unless he's got something cool about these, like at least Madcap had that gun that like it was a bubble gun, but like it did cool things, like it made people go crazy. Like
But it
these are
actually, yeah,
just
but
pink, as far as I
I,
could tell.
I think we learned that the gun actually did nothing, right? It was, but it would like distract people to look in his eyes, and then his eyes is what
Oh,
would
yeah,
hypnotize them.
maybe. Okay, at least there's a
So,
point to it.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, there's still a point to it, but so anyway, Joyce is Giant's wife or whatever, and he's like, "Get the hell out of here!" Oh yeah, that's the
yeah.
marksman or huntsman comes running in, and
Yeah, Marksman
Icestar,
you think would be shooting people, but he's just
yeah,
tackling. I don't know.
and Icestar freezes Malice's machine gun so she can't kill anybody, and so now there's just a big fight going on, and Giant and Demon Guy are fighting, and then Foxbat starts hitting on Flare while she's tied up with a blindfold in the back of the convertible.
Yeah. Apparently this is an ongoing thing, I guess. They keep mentioning that he's got the hots for
Yeah. And she's like, get me out of these ropes, you psychotic cretin. And
her.
he's like, you must be joking. Me help you? And she's, get me out of here. I'll wring your neck. I swear to God I will. And then Marksman, he's like, hey, Foxback, get her out of there or I'll take your head off. And he's like, all right. Sheesh, what a
What a
grouch.
grouch.
Yeah.
Yep. Now Malice is coming on to Icestar. Like, oh,
Yeah, she's trying to seduce him.
yeah.
And it's working.
This Icestar does not care. Eyes are not on the prize.
And Flair's trying to yell out, say, I start, oh, I can't believe this. And but the fight between Giant and Demon Master is still going strong, and they're knocking down trees and going everywhere until Demon Master just says, "No, I've toyed with you long enough." So he just like shoots out some energy or something and knocks Giant down, sends him for a loop, and he just says, "You know what? I'm just going to kill your wife and kid." So
Yeah.
that'd be cool. But Giant rallies and
All right.
punches him, and And then Malice, she just says, all right, Ice Star, I'm tired of trying to seduce you. This is getting out of hand here, so I'm just going to punch you and knock you out. So that's what she does.
Yep.
And
Marksman's like, hey, pregnant woman, stop crying. I know
yeah,
your husband's about to die, but don't worry about it. And
and she's
she's
a,
like, yeah, but he hasn't. Don't you understand that? That's Malice's power he's fighting. That damned harness he wears was designed to give my father the power he needed to fight her. My husband is not the original giant. He can't be as effective. Sounds like you don't really have a lot of trust in him. This is like a real Rocky Four situation. You can't win, Rock.
So that Diamond Master shoots an energy bolt on or something, and it hits the Huntsman instead of the wife and kid.
Yep.
So a giant punches the demon guy and knocks his crown off, and he sees for the first time it's Philip, Blair's brother.
Even though Malice already told that to them, basically, that it was
Yeah.
Philip. But
And Flair's trying to fly up to him. Philip, oh my God, it is my brother. And Malice grabs her by the ankle and just flings her into the car again,
that's
right
so
to,
good.
right into the side of the convertible. I like this
This
Malice
artist can
lady.
draw one thing, and it's people getting thrown into cars.
This Malice is my kind of lady. I'm a big fan. So we might have to make a note for her villain of the year. Just throwing people into the sides of convertibles.
Yeah, it's good to have a gimmick.
So then Giant says Flair, and Philip says Teresa. I guess that's Flair's real name. And but then look, Malice grabs Flair again and throws her into Foxbat.
Yeah, it's like, oh, if you want her, take her. She's yours.
Just chucking her all over the
Bam.
place. So then who grabs her? Because they're both wearing brown gloves. Is that the
Yeah, that's Giant. Giant grabs her.
okay?
He's like, "This
Giant
is all
grabs
your
her.
fault. You know, you'd like to believe, but wouldn't we both know better? You manipulate. You do the scheming. You are the embodiment of evil here."
And she says "feh." She says "feh" a lot too. Feh. If you believe that, and what about him? And the Demon Master Philip, he grabs him from behind and ties up his arms. And the pregnant lady's like, Jim and Daddy, the little kid's yelling. And what happens here, Jack? Take us through this.
So he's like, funny, I don't feel any pain, but I can see his arms around me. I can see the flames consuming my flesh. Could the harness be protecting me from that? So I don't feel the pain? It doesn't protect him from much, but I guess it protects him from the pain, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, he's kind of reliving all of his, greatest moments, I guess, of finding the harness. And then when I wore it, had to believe that what everything they said was true about him being the giant, and I knew what I had to do. The power had to be used. But then he's like, oh, and then we got married, and things were great, and its purpose is so clear. Its malice must be stopped. And next panel is just a giant shot of his charred corpse, giant ass charred corpse falling to the ground.
Yes. He did not stop Malice. His whole
Not at
body
all.
was burned to a crisp. And the wife and child see this. They saw it happen. And now we cut over chapter 12. And the final fall, she said, is thine, is the title. And we see Philip, the Demon Master guy. He's on a throne, and he's got the harness on a coat rack behind him, just chilling. And he's trying to interrogate the Foxbat there, I guess.
Yeah.
And he's like,
It's
you better
interesting that
respect me.
like they apparently all the team gave up after this. They're just like, oh
Yeah.
well, we could just run away, but let's let this giant man take us in.
So he's telling Foxbat he has to respect him, and Foxbat is like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So he just backhands him in the face, and he tells his guards to like, I don't know, get rid of him or something. And then
Yeah,
Malice is chained up, handcuffed, and I guess they did something to sap her powers. So they're leading her down to the dungeon, and they throw her in there as well with Rose and Dr. Arcane and the Lady Arcane, and but they reveal to her, hey, look, we're doing some stuff here. We're going to escape because we got a new Lady Arcane here with some powers. And Malice is just laughing like, oh, you all are all stupid. But then she like gives power back to Dr. Arcane. Is that? I don't know. There because
his
sometimes
soul.
oh,
He's
his
like,
soul.
yeah.
Okay.
She's like, by all the gods that ever were, save me from the machinations of children. It's like, you refuse then? He's like, no, no, not at all. There, you have the old fart back. His soul didn't taste all that much, or didn't have all that much taste to it. I've never been fond of do-gooders.
Yeah, I
So
guess
she,
this is like a Selene situation where she has to feast on life force energy or something.
they just
But,
keep immortal.
yeah. So now we cut over to the Philip, the Demon Master guy. They're having a nice sit down dinner with Flair, Icestar, and Huntsman slash Marksman. And even though he just murdered their their buddy, they're all just sitting down enjoying a meal together. And you can see the harness is still on the coat rack behind him, but Flair's upset by all this, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, she knows where this is headed.
and she's like, Philip, why can't you just grow up? And he's like, what do you mean? Adults don't kill people. And does this work? It's weird here, like Game of Thrones, like with the brother and the sister.
About to get there because, yeah. She's like, okay, blast you, Philip. Why can't you grow up? Why do you have to play these games? Yes, games. You kill the man I love. I guess that's giant. Then you discard my competition. You dress me in clothes to match your own, and you offer me a chance to serve you. Why can't you just come straight out with it? You're not interested in these two. That's an excuse to make it easier for me. It's me you want. That's why you've done all this, isn't it? That's why you strive to seize control. You still want me, and you think you need to prove yourself worthy of my love. Well, you can go to blazes, you sniveling walking perversion. I may not have had any choice before, but I sure have one now. And
Yeah,
then he blasts her, and you can have that, or she blasts him. You can have that for what you've been thinking of me. He's like, my eyes.
yeah,
Apparently, he's weak to light, so
yeah,
her light
she
powers
blasts
are.
him with the light and knocks him out through a window. Just chucks him right out of the window. But yeah, just to remind everybody after you listen to that,
Like,
they're brother and sister.
yep. As we find out, as we get in this next panel, well, what are you looking at? My brother's always been sensitive to light, and Iceman's like, your brother. They're
Uh,
also very confused because, yeah, this is getting gross.
she's like, the fall's not going to kill him. His body's far too malleable for that. Yeah, I guess his power is he can control, like the reason he was so big is he can control his shape of his body. Like
Oh, that's got to be
he can,
handy.
yeah. So,
Oh, I think that's actually part of how he got with her before.
oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Oh, he pretended to be someone else, maybe? Like,
yeah,
okay,
basically.
all
Yeah,
right,
and trick. She was like, he made me fall in love with him. It was like sounded like he was making, turning into somebody else. Like
all
he found
right.
out what would make me love him and turned it into that.
This guy's a weirdo, huh? All right, so
Look
now
at, damn
Foxbat
you,
is in
Teresa,
the
you are magnificent. You are a superb example of feminine pulchritude. But this time you've gone too
yeah.
far.
You don't hear the word pulchritude too often, but
Not so much.
yeah, feminine beauty and
Damn, damn, that Teresa's fine. I want to bang that sister.
so now we come back to the dungeon cell and we see Foxbats with him now, and he's got his ping pong ball gun and he shoots at some more guards with the ping pong ball gun
Oh
and
God.
just takes them right out. So
Wow. You gotta wonder how they picked this character to to pick for this comic book out of all the submissions they must have gotten from people playing this game.
and they bust into another jail cell and free the pregnant lady and her son, and they want to kill Foxbat, and they're like, no, no, he's all right. He's on our side for the moment.
Yeah.
So,
Not that bad.
and and while they're leaving, Malice stops to feast on some of the knocked out guards. She's gonna suck out
Lady
their
Arcane's like,
souls.
don't do that. She's like, hey, you want my help? I gotta drain somebody. It's either this or you guys. She's like, oh, all
Uh,
right, yeah, you can do that. I guess that's got
and
a good point.
now we cut back to their big battle, and for some reason, she has that Hellfire crown now around her wrists. Like both of her hands are through the crown,
Uh
and she's using that to like amplify her powers, I guess.
yeah, I guess that's right. I don't know why she doesn't just wear it as a crown.
Yeah, I think that's.
Easier,
Can
but
someone tell her it's a bracelet? She's trying to wear. It's a crown. Put it on your head. So she's shooting lasers and whatnot at everybody, and but Philip, he's just enjoying a glass of wine while this is going on.
yep. Everyone's like screaming, everything's on fire. All right, all right. They're all like, help us, master, help us. He's like, I don't know, this wine's pretty good.
And he's like,
And
that tears it. Flair, you come down here this instant. You heard me. This has gone on long enough. Talk about me playing games.
she smashes his wine bottle. He's like, that was Falcon Crest label.
Yeah,
That's what he's like, now I'm gonna get you.
that was the last straw.
I don't care how
So,
hot you are.
so she goes down to talk to Philip, and Icestar's like, "What is she doing now?" And Huntsman's like, "I'm not sure." And
Yeah.
old Foxbat's like, "Just give me one shot." And Rose tells him, wait and see.
What's one shot of your ping pong ball gonna do to this guy?
So Philip says, we both know why you're doing this, not to hurt me, but to prove to me you don't need me. But that's a lie. We need each other, Teresa. That's always been true. And I've done all this not for any petty reason, but because I want to lay the world at your feet. I've done it for your love. And he kisses her.
Yeah, big old plant one right on her.
And what does she say, Jack?
You disgust me. Why can't you understand that? Philip, you make me sick. You use me, or you abuse, you rape, you kill. We are
Oh,
nothing alike, you and I.
that's not a good list of attributes.
Oh,
Uh,
not at all.
and she's grabbing him by the throat here, choking him while she's saying this too.
Yeah, she starts flying him up into the sky. And
Maybe I did love you once, but you'll never make me do it again. Oh, well, wait, she did love him.
yeah.
Flair, come down. And she's like, do you see that? And she shows him the harness hanging on the coat rack. That belonged to the man I loved, and you killed him. Mein Gott, Bruder. My own brother, I guess. Yeah, she's speaking German now because she's a Nazi. You killed the man I loved. And whatever else I may be willing to forgive, God forgive me, I can't forgive you that. And she just gets
Yep.
really bright up in the sky there. And again, he's sensitive to light. And then the next panel, his scorched corpse falls to the ground, and the crown goes bouncing next to him as well.
Yep.
Yeah, she killed her brother, and his
Ice
hand
stars.
starts. Yeah, so they leave his dead, rotting corpse still smoking on the ground. They all
Yeah.
leave, but then Malice walks in, and we just see her leg there, and then she goes down, and his hand's starting to move a little bit, like he might heal if he's
Apparently can
given
heal. Yeah, unlike
enough
Giant.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unlike Giant, he was burned too much for it to come back, but this guy apparently he can come back. So
but Malice just starts kissing him and sucking his soul out, and
yeah. She
she
gets all her
reclaims.
power back that this
Yeah.
guy stole in the first place.
There are
And it
none
ends
who
with
can
her
stand in my way. Dun,
uh,
dun, dun. Yeah, it's a good shot of her standing there. And the end. So Malice is back into full power, and she's going to cause some trouble.
yep. Uh-oh, but we'll never see what happens because this is the end of it.
So then we got some pages here of like the stats for these heroes and these various characters. And like there's Salazar created by Thorsten Johnson and
Oh,
Barnick created by Christopher Breen. And they
yeah,
describe
those characters I don't think are even in this book, so I don't know.
yeah, they don't see pictures of them either, just descriptions. And then we get a stats page for Dr. Arcane based on a character created by Dennis Maloney. And we get a full description and stats. Then we get Lady Arcane, again created by Dennis Maloney.
How did this Dennis Maloney get two characters in here?
Well, he's the guy that wrote the book, so yeah.
True.
But there it is, Champions. That is a wild, wild ride.
It was nuts. I had no idea what we were getting into. I thought this was just going to be some random bullshit, and it kind of was, but
Uh,
boy, did it go in directions I was not expecting.
yeah, just for shock value alone, it's going to get a pretty high rating, I think.
I would have to agree. Like, I mean, I was always entertained. It never lost me on that front.
Yeah, there's some dark stuff going on here. An implied gang rape,
Yeah.
ancestral love
Yikes. In
affair.
the first two pages, yeah, they're like, oh, we're starting off with this. This is like the 80s and like what looks like a children's book almost.
Yeah, the
The
art
art
is very
style.
simple. Yeah. But you have the ancestral love affair. We also have apparently an illicit love affair between the sister and Giant.
Yep.
Adultery going on, possibly. What else? A ping pong ball
uh,
gun.
pink. I mean, there are some cool elements here where I guess like Malice is the main villain, but then you have some other guy steal her powers, so that kind of takes up a couple issues of we gotta get this out, beat him now, but then it goes back to her. That's kind of a cool story element, I
Yeah.
guess.
I
Keeps
like
the
Malice a
story
lot.
going.
Her
Yeah.
ability to chuck people into the sides of convertibles is unmatched. That's my favorite new finishing move. Just throwing someone into a convertible.
Oh, if they did that in wrestling more often, I would watch it so much more.
That's
Constantly throwing them into car doors.
pretty great. So, all right, yeah, like the writing here, it's daring. It's very
I wish, yeah, like I said, I wish they would have filled us in on the backstory a little bit more as they went along. Just even just having boxes saying who these people were, that kind of thing, what their powers are. But you know, I figured out enough of it to at least follow the story, and each reveal was kind of like, holy shit, what? So I got to give it credit for that.
and like we mentioned, the art it's a simple style, but it's effective. It does the job.
Sure,
I kind
yeah.
of dug it. It was consistent, so that's good.
Hmm.
I did like the coloring a lot early on, especially
Oh yeah, the
the
purple and
greens
green,
and stuff.
pretty
Yeah, it
cool.
was nice. So yeah, I don't know, man. This was a weird one, but I'm glad we experienced it, I think.
I am too. That's why I'm saying I think you picked the right one last week because the other champions would not have been this good. I don't think.
No. Like I think the base it would be a 7, but I'd be tempted to go 8 just for the craziness of it all.
But
So,
I think I'm gonna go 8. Yeah, I think you've convinced me that yeah, 8 is
all
the way
right.
for a ping pong gun and weird incest. I mean, you got to go 8.
All right. Woo. 2 8s all around.
This is the kind of
So,
craziness I wanted out of Miss Tree.
yeah, there you So, all right, there's champions from Eclipse Comics. Remember, there is a second series in 1987. We could probably check out at some point, see if it's just as crazy. But
I don't know how you top yourselves after this. Like, what
I
else
kind of want to, I kind of
is
want to
there
see
to
what
do
Malice gets up to. This Malice, I like her. I want to see what she does.
that you
So
could throw people into? So,
maybe she'll find the other leg of that costume. You never know. So,
we can only hope.
all right, there it is, champions. All right, what do you got for us next week, Jang?
All right, next week I figured there's some big villains out there we haven't ever really talked about. So I wanted to cover one of those and talk a little bit about the Abomination.
Oh, okay.
But we just did the
I'm
Hulk,
guessing
so
we're
we're
doing
not going to
Hulk.
do a Hulk book,
Oh,
especially since
I didn't know Abomination was ever in another book besides the Hulk.
yeah, yeah. So we just did the Hulk with that Sandman issue. So in that spirit, I'm going to pick a Hulk villain in a different book and go with Solo Avengers number 12.
Okay, this is good. I almost picked a solo Avengers a few times
Ooh,
because I figured, that's a series this has to be 1989, right?
88.
Oh, 88.
88.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So
because we've
Solo Avengers number 12 features the Abomination comes the calling at the West Coast Avengers headquarters, and they left Hawkeye home alone,
oh
like Kevin
no.
McAllister. So
Hawkeye
let's
versus
see what happens
Abomination.
when those two titans meet.
Yes, for those who don't know, Solo Avengers, it started out basically Hawkeye was like the what always kind of had the main story early on at least, and then there'd always
Yeah.
be like a backup story as well with another character.
Yeah, this backup story features that female Yellow Jacket and the Fixer.
Oh, okay. Well, that's something.
Be interesting.
Because I almost picked I don't know if it was issue 1 or it may have been issue 1 of this because it had Batroc the Leaper because I wanted to do a Batroc the Leaper issue. But yes, all right. Next week, Solar Avengers issue 12, Hawkeye and the Abomination. So
Hmm.
that'll be something. And again, if you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We appreciate the support. And until next week, don't get any jank on you.